Hey Capricorn, I am your astrologer Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here's your weekly forecast for the week of Monday, June 18th to Sunday, June 24th, 2018. Now what's going on this week is we do have Neptune in Pisces going retrograde on Tuesday. And that for you is going to be your third house of talk and of communication. So perhaps what's been going on lately? Maybe there's been some confusion about the way that you talk, communicate, about what's going on in your mind. Maybe there's been an increased desire for you to communicate creatively, think creatively. That's a little bit hard to understand. And I think with Neptune starting to go retrograde this week in your third house, it's time for you to break through some of the confusion to get more clarity on on what you're thinking, on what's important to you, on how you need to express yourself in a way that really resonates with you more and can really let what's going on inside you show in a more positive way. Okay, if it's not that way that it's hitting you, just keep in mind that the third house also rules siblings, and it also rules your community and your neighbors. So there could have been some confusion about how you work with your community and about your neighbors that I think Neptune here going retrograde will help you to clear up, to figure out how to work with your community better. And again, with the talking interpretation, how to communicate and be more open about what it is that you want and feel that's been going on inside you, and perhaps even a little bit more of an artistic or creative way. All right, so that's happening there on Tuesday. Now, while that's happening, also on Tuesday and into Wednesday, we do have Venus here coming closer to the North Node, or coming conjunct with the North Node. And that for you, Capricorn, is going to be in your 8th house of changes, of endings and beginnings, also of big financial investments. So maybe what's going on here is you're getting more clarity in your mind about what you need in order to create a life that resonates with you more on the inside, in order to express yourself and what you're really feeling more fully. Maybe you're figuring out what you need to work with your community better, and as a result, need to make a change, need to end or begin something, needing to make some big kind of financial investment. Okay, and I think with Venus here in the North Node on Tuesday and Wednesday, it's going to help you figure out how you can organize your finances to perhaps make a change that you need to make, and how you can work closely with the other people in your life in order to end or begin something, to do what you need so that you can feel more free to express yourself and to work with your neighbors or with a community. Okay, so that's what I see happening there. While that's going on Wednesday, we also do have Mercury here in Cancer. That for you, Capricorn, is going to be in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships, usually of the one-on-one variety. So as you are thinking about making some changes here in order for you to express yourself more freely in a way that really resonates with you, and be more open about what's going on inside you, I think there's a lot of thinking and talking and communicating going on with the other people in your life. With your relationships, maybe about your relationships, about a commitment or a contract that you may or may not sign in this house. Now with Mercury, on Wednesday, it is going to be making a trine over to Jupiter in Scorpio, and that for you is in your 11th house of your goals, your dreams, and your hopes for the future. So I think what you're doing is you're communicating with your relationships about where you see your life going, about some goals and dreams you have for your life, about what you need to feel more inspired about life and to relax more into a life that you really like. And I do like to think that that's going to be positive, even if you're making some changes and the changes themselves are scary to do more of what you want. I think you are having some positive conversations with the other people so everyone else can understand what you're really interested in, what you really need in order to see a future that's better for you. All right. Mercury as well, a day later on Thursday, is going to be making a trine to Neptune, which I just talked about because it will be going retrograde this week. And Neptune and Jupiter are also making a trine with each other in a grand water trine. I think being really pretty here, just to help other people understand you, the other people in your life understand what you want, what you need to reach more of your goals and dreams, even if a big change is in order for you to accomplish some of the things that it is that you want and need, or even if you have to spend some money or upset the balance in your life in order to get the things that are important. All right. So that's what I see happening there. While that's going on, Thursday and Friday, I'm moving through day by day throughout the week now, we also do have Mars here on the South Node. And that for you, Capricorn, is going to be in your 2nd house of money, of income, of your confidence, of your gifts and skills and talents. So oh, my whole word got erased. So as you're trying to perhaps change your life for the better to create more of a life that you want, where you feel like you can express what's really in your heart more freely, and as you're trying to work that out with your relationships, I think there could be some things again about money that aren't feeling quite right. Maybe the stability in your life that you want isn't quite there. Maybe there's not as much money coming in as you want. Maybe as well you're not quite sure how to use your gifts and skills and talents for your good, and I think really just needing to be patient. I know it's kind of hard to say when there are bills to pay, perhaps, and things that need to get done, but really just needing to be patient before more stability comes back into your life, before you get the money that you need and use more of your talents in a more positive way. Not that you should neglect all of those things altogether. I think in the background you should still be thinking, okay, well, how can I work my talents together with this? How can I make more money from this thing as I'm making this change? But just that it may not come together right away. It may take a few more months on that. All right. So that's what we have there. While that's going on Friday now and Saturday, we have the sun moving into Cancer, which is your 7th house of relationships, making a sextile to Uranus in your 5th house of happiness, of love, of romance, and of passion projects. So I really do like this, even if the stability isn't there in the way that you want, even if money may not feel quite the way that you want it to feel. I do think you're starting to figure out here what changes you need to make in life to express yourself more authentically, to work with your community better, and also figuring out how you can be happier with the people in your life, to have better relationships, to have relationships that you enjoy, to have more fun with the people in your life. I think a lot of that is starting to come together. Okay. So that's what I see there. Now, some of the more challenging things in this chart do happen this weekend. So I do like to think the beginning of this week, even though money may not quite be where you want it to be, although I don't think that's a new thing. I think that's been a thing for a few weeks. It's been on your mind. I do think that the beginning of this week is fairly positive. It's Saturday and Sunday this weekend that can bring up a little bit more of the harder things to be dealt with, resolved, healed. That's because on Saturday and Sunday of this weekend, as the sun is in a sextile with Uranus, it's then going to square Chiron in your 4th house of home and of family and of your foundation in life. So what's going on is you're figuring out perhaps what you need to change to have better relationships, to express yourself more authentically, to reach some goals for your future. And again, there may be some things about your home that are not working out the way that you hoped. Maybe home and family doesn't quite understand some change that you're making. Maybe you're having to uproot your home a little bit. Maybe working with relationships at home is a little bit destabilizing. Also, maybe your emotions, it's hard for you to adjust emotionally to some big changes that are occurring in your life that could be a little bit scary. That's going on. I think that could be a little bit difficult. And really just needing here to make the change. The stability will come. It's hard when your 2nd and 4th houses are not doing the best because the 2nd and 4th houses to me do indicate our sense of stability, our sense of security in life, our sense of comfort. And those 2 houses in your chart, Capricorn, are not doing the best. And I think it really is all about making a big change in your life, letting yourself do that so that you can let more of your goals come into focus and be more open about who you are. And then all of the stability will come back, but maybe not in the same way you have it or have had it in the past, right? So I do see that, and just needing to keep focusing on your heart and what you can do to bring more of your heart out, even if it upsets some things in the process. All right. So that's happening there. And then the last thing I want to mention, on Saturday, Mercury in an opposition with Pluto. And Mercury is going to be in your 7th house of relationships, with Pluto here in your 1st house in Capricorn. And what that could bring up this weekend perhaps are some changes, some intense conversations, or perhaps some negotiations here with some of the other people in your life. Okay, I think you are changing. Your identity is changing, especially with Pluto in your 1st house. Who you are, how you thought of yourself is definitely ending, so that a new you, a new identity of yourself can be born. And perhaps as a result, you're going to need to change your relationships or to work with the other people in your life very differently in order to let your new identity in order to change who it is that you are and what's going on. And I think what's happening towards the end of the week here is you're trying to be happier in your relationships, even if it's upsetting your stability, your foundation, and maybe needing again to negotiate some things with the people in your life to get the balance just right. so that you can have the relationships that are best for you now that your life is changing, and associate with people that are better, and so the other people in your life too can understand what's going on with you. All right, I think last week with Mercury in opposition with Saturn, you already were thinking very seriously about yourself, about who you are, about your relationships, about what you can do differently with the people in your life, to move forward. And I think there were some things and decisions and choices that came out of that. But with Mercury opposing Pluto at the end of this week, I think there's still more negotiations that need to come in your relationships, more change. Maybe some of the decisions you made last week or the things you thought about, you're now getting more details on, moving forward on, figuring more things out. That we're going to be working out this weekend. Do I think that this is the last time that you're going to be renegotiating things with the other people in your life? Maybe changing the people in your life, changing how you interact with your relationships? No. There's going to be a new moon solar eclipse here in a few weeks, not that much longer, in the same exact spot that Mercury will be this weekend. So I do think relationships, how you interact with people, is going to need to change and is going to be revolutionized in a very big way here in the coming weeks especially, and maybe even some months after that. And right now you're just kicking that off, okay? So I think that's what's going on. Just to recap, change in your life here, even if it's unsettling, to let more of what's inside you out, to work better with relationships, reach some of your goals, and it may just feel a little bit destabilizing in the process, but needing to be okay with that, although not neglected entirely. And it may require you as well to renegotiate things with relationships and with your identity, with who you are, so that you can work better with the people in your life. Okay, that may be an ongoing story for a little while. All right, so that's what I've got there. Your card, Capricorn, is the King of Pentacles upright. This card, the King of Pentacles, it's kind of funny because I normally think of him as definitely one of stability, security, which your chart is not looking too good for right now. And I think, you know what I think I might say about this card because of that, because I'm getting conflicting messages here. The King normally has everything together. I see this as a very Capricorn card. If you don't feel like life is where you want it to be right now, I think this card is saying, you gotta use your resources. This King, see, he is so good at using what he has. Like, this is why he's the King of Pentacles, because he knows when to enlist help when he needs help, when to get resources from someone else, when to share resources with someone, when to hire other help that he needs to help him accomplish the things that he needs to accomplish. You know, and I think that's what's going on this week, is that you need to be a master over your resources. If you don't have all of the money that you need, all of the talents that you need to move forward, you need to figure out, well, what money do you have? What talents do you have? How can you use that, organize that better to get what you want and need? And if you don't, how can you outsource some of the things that you don't have so that you can get those needs taken better care of? To move forward. All right, and I think that what may be very, very important. Perhaps there are some big changes in your life, upheavals that may be a little bit uncomfortable, and it's not a matter of freaking out if things aren't the way that you want and doubling down and controlling things, being overbearing to fix everything. It's a matter of saying, okay, this is my reality now. What do I need to tweak and change, and what help do I need to list from outside me that I can bring in, that can do the things that I want and need to try to bring everything together in that way. All right. Yeah. So that's what I see going on there, Capricorn. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you liked it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and I will talk to you later.